Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod. We have Michael Villari with us today. He's a founder of Secure Virtual Solutions at WellDesk with us today. This podcast is presented to you by bookridegpt.com. If you want to write up a quick book with your LinkedIn post with BookRideGPT, you can head out there. You'll receive a free Kindle book. The first credit is on me, so bookridegpt.com. Mike, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to.
Sure, Charles. Thanks for having me. I'm married. I got 3 kids, 2, 3, and 4. My wife and I officially about 14 months ago quit our jobs, started this business, and the rest is history. I'm a huge baseball fan, specifically the Philadelphia Phillies. I love playing outside with my kids and riding our bikes, and everything's all about family at this point.
Nice, man. And what prompted you to take that crazy leap into entrepreneurship?
Freedom. I mean, listen, I think the American dream is, you're going to own your own business. You're going to be filthy rich. You're going to have all this awesome stuff. But I've grinded through the financial services industry, the automotive industry. My wife's worked for a very big cable conglomerate here in Philadelphia. And ultimately, once you have kids and you start raising a family, what you realize is, if your kids need you, you want to be there for them. So what are we going to do? How are we going to figure this out?
Right. And how's it been so far in that crazy train, that crazy roller coaster?
It's been a grind, but a fun grind. I mean, I come from industry where, prospecting, trying to find new clients felt like this. I was climbing Mount Everest to, providing a really awesome service in secure virtual solutions and WellDesk, to where people want me to be heard. They want to hear what I have to say. They want to learn more about our business, and they want to implement what we have to offer. So it's been a breath of fresh air for sure.
Right. And you're into VA solution. I personally don't believe in VAs anymore. I think I fired my full team like 3 years ago and I replaced them with AIs. Never been better, but I do understand that this may still be relevant for small businesses, right? Which is your target. What do you think will happen in the age of AIs and AI agents?
Yeah, I love AI. And actually, most times when we're meeting with clients, we're leading with AI and automation first and foremost. What I realize is, WellDesk is very specific to the health and wellness industry, and people that are calling their therapist, their psychiatrist, whoever it may be, they're not always in the right frame of mind, right? They want to talk to a human being. So having another human being on the other side, showing some empathy and understanding and making them feel heard, I think is something that AI isn't necessarily, crossing all the other T's and dotting all their I's yet. For us, there's enough business owners out there that still would rather have somebody, a person working with them and for them, as opposed to AI. However, I can tell you right now, for us, my wife and I who run the business, AI is very important, and we're trying to stay ahead of it. And that's why, when we're meeting with new clients, we're asking them what automations, what AI do they have implement in their business, and then figuring out ways to make sure we can still manage it properly and be the experts in that field.
Right, and I see WellDesk here. It looks good. The website, not sure what you use for that, but yeah, I love that and what you're doing. How old is that one, and why did you decided to launch that one as well?
Yeah, so WellDesk is fairly new, past few months. What we realized is the health and wellness industry specifically, when they hear secure virtual solutions, it sounds like this very corporate business, right? We're not that. I mean, it's my wife and I as the face of the business, running the business, finding the right VAs to implement within these sole practices and helping these sole practitioners. And WellDesk just kind of resonates a lot more with that industry in itself, and just being very specific as to what we can do and how we can do it.
How's it to run a company with your wife? I know that me and my wife, we can't really work together. It's too much friction. Like I have an alpha personality. She also has some kind of alpha personality, right? So
Yeah.
it's pretty bombastic. And yeah, that would never bring my wife in the business. She's a photographer. She has her own business, by the way. So we're good on both of her level. What is your trick here?
So we're very A-type, both of us. So I can't lie. I mean, there's times where we're butting heads, and we're especially early on growing this business, we've argued, right? but having such a strong bond and a really close relationship, we also realize that like you don't take those arguments personally, right? You say what you have to say, you move on, and then literally in the next second, it's like things are back to normal, but we're both heard. We take action on what we talked about, and we just keep growing from there. However, the other upside to this too is that like my wife is very operations based. I'm very front of the house, sales, marketing, networking. So we're in opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to growing a business, and we just stay in our lane.
Which I think is great, by the way. I never thought about it that way, but like sales is very testosterone and back end work and operation is very estrogen, like
Yeah, I
it's
mean it's a
about
good point.
nurturing and caring and love,
Yep.
I think that's what the back end's about. And yeah, like you said, and I mean, I don't do business with my wife, but we certainly do have a relationship, right? And a micro community here to maintain. We have 5 dogs for now. We're conceiving kids right now. So we
Good
still
luck.
have yeah, thanks. I know I'll need I need luck. It's not an understatement that I'll need luck on that level, but we're still building a micro community, right? And yes, fighting I think is good, and arguing. I don't understand how a couple can stay if there's no argument. Most of the
Right.
time, if there's no argument, it's like ignoring one another, which is incredibly toxic if you do it at scale. So I think
Right.
it's like fighting and taking, but staying open, right? And taking some of these punches sometime and just reflecting on these and like, oh, I need to change that,
Right.
and vice versa. And then trying to reconcile again, to not stay in that angry mood, right? And grow out of that. Because
Yeah.
without fights, there's no growth, right?
Right. Well, listen. The biggest secret to it is being able to move past it and not take it personally. But you gotta also recognize that we have 3 kids: a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old. Things aren't getting cheaper here in America. We're running a business together. Like stress is at an all-time high, and if you just keep it all bottled in, the blow up at the end of that is way worse than just a small argument here and there, knowing how to move on from it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I've had various of these bloods, but usually I have mechanisms to put that energy out, right? Like for example, every night I go on my roof here. We have a nice like rooftop gym, and I just box, and then I stare at the
Nice.
stars after that. That's very relaxing. That's like my mindset, and then I get to bed. I sleep easily because I do lots of intensive sports as well, which is
Cool.
essential for good sleep. What is your recovery stack?
I I play baseball every Sunday. Sometimes, Charles, it's as easy as like 3 minutes of just walking outside and breathing in fresh air, and it's a reset. That's or
3 minutes, like you're superhuman. I need at least 30 minutes
Yeah.
every morning to walk my dogs because 3 minutes. Sometimes it really takes me time to reset my body. Like today, I woke up not feeling super well, maybe something I ate yesterday. And even after 30 minutes walk, and Wim Hof breathing sort of, I still came back to the house feeling like so-so.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the level of stress or the argument or what you're feeling. But typically, 3 minutes. Like listen, at the end of the day, what you realize is in life, there's nothing really that big and that important and that crazy that should set you off for, a day, an hour, a half an hour, right? It's just finding ways to have those quick mental resets and moving on. Yeah.
Because I think there's the days, like you said, the micro stressors, the micro trauma is only increasing with time. So absolutely need like some kind of systems like that. And
Sure.
it's been proven also that during COVID, there was a bunch of how do you call it? Like a wife and husband fight, like violence, domestic violence, right?
Oh, really?
Domestic violence, yeah, that increased, I think like 2 or 3-fold because people had nowhere to go.
I mean, it's crazy to think that these people married each other for the rest of their lives, and then all of a sudden they're stuck in a house together and they can't get along. I mean,
but is it that crazy? Like divorce rate is like 50 to 60%. That's another.
yeah, I mean, the
big
odds are
stat.
against us. That's for sure.
Yeah, so it's not that crazy, right? And I think it's not that humans are evolving and the marriage notion should go away. I think this is still solid, and this is what kids need, right? Like they need stability. That's been scientifically proven. But I think what is getting harder is like all the stimuli, all the bullshit on social media, the stress, the inflation,
Yep.
and all of that stuff. So I think people are realizing that they're really on your own. I think you did the right move to go to move into entrepreneurship as well, because AI will slash the fuck out of a bunch of jobs. But I think people need recovery system, and they need to depend less and less on the government and be like, yo, I'm by my own, and there's
Sure.
only myself to save me.
Right. I mean, listen, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to get done, and I'm confident enough to know that I can do it. I don't want to rely on anybody else to be cracking a whip behind me anymore. It's like, okay, I am the man. This is my business. Provide really good service. Not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And good things should come to you from there.
And what's your sales system like? Give me a bit better portrait of like your sales system, your GTM motion.
Tell me, give me a little bit more of an explanation of what you're asking. I'm not 100% sure.
How do you get sales? How do you get clients?
Sales. Okay. Understood. Yeah. All right. I heard it a little differently. My fault. So we currently run an email marketing campaign. It works really well, especially for the two industries that we kind of like to work within, and we know we do really well with. But I don't know, man. I like going out and just talking to people. Whatever networking events. I don't cold call. Refuse to cold call. I will not cold call. No shot. That was
hot leads. You mean like people subscribing first, inbounds, and then you calling them? Is that what you mean?
Right. Exactly. So like if I'm reaching out through an email marketing campaign, giving them our value add, what we think we can do for them. And that's all automated. That's all AI driven, right? I love AI for that. People just showing interest. It's as easy as me picking up the phone or shooting an email back on behalf of myself as the owner and co-founder of the business and saying, hey, I wanted to take a personal approach and figure out what it is where you feel we could be really helpful. And I don't know. I haven't met anybody who's not receptive to the idea of talking through how we can help them.
What are your financial objectives for this year?
In year number 2, financial objectives would basically be, just making sure we can take care of our family. We're heading in the right direction here. I think, making sure that the same amount of money coming in is also taking care of our bills, right? I'm not necessarily doing this to get rich. I mean, at the end of the day, if we make a ton of money and we're able to, maybe sell a business 5-10 years from now, that's great. But it's freedom. Being an entrepreneur is about freedom.
Right. So let's call it 600K a year and 200K that you bring home in profits.
Yeah. So I think we're looking to make about 300K and take home about 180.
Okay. Yeah, which makes sense. Big profit margins there. How do you make that happen?
It's just being smart with what we're charging compared to what we're paying our VAs, of which we are paying our VAs very well in retrospect to the industry and what they are paid, building the right culture, having people believe in you. But the subscription-based model of our business has really been able to help with margins too, right? I mean, it's the idea of providing a really low-level service to our clients at a very good cost, but through that subscription-based model, it's the same amount of money coming in month after month after month, and people just aren't thinking about how much they're paying us. They're just thinking about how great it is, about the type of work that we're taking off their plate and helping them with.
And the VA pay, let's call it, you pay them probably $10 an hour, and you bill your clients anywhere from 18 to 25 an hour.
No, we're actually a little less. We pay our VAs $5 an hour, but our training and our management is very good. So where most of our VAs are used to making $1.50 to $2 an hour, we pride ourselves on really doing the proper training, and then we're also turning around and paying them much more than they're used to. And then we charge anywhere from $11 to $13 an hour plus a small onboarding fee. So I think our margins end up as good as they are is because of that onboarding fee to get everybody trained, up and running, and ready to roll.
With Trump in power right now and pretty much reshoring everything, do you think VAs could eventually come from the US? Do you think that could eventually scale as a model, or the economics just don't make sense?
I never want to take away from the American worker, ever. That is not our goal when we launch this business. But that low-level administrative task, that work, that person these people are looking to hire for is a constant revolving door, Charles. At the end of the day, these business owners can never find anybody that's either one of two things happen. They find somebody that's really reliable and great, and 3 or 4 months down the line, that person wants more money, or they figure out what their worth is and they go get a new job somewhere else, or they're hiring that person that just isn't reliable. They're not showing up on time. There's too much. There's too many problems there. If I can find a way to bring this work to the U.S., I would love to. But what I know is right now, based off the agency we built in the Philippines, we're building them up. We're making them better, and we're giving them a better opportunity financially in their own world, which is just a much lesser cost of living.
So bringing back jobs to the U.S., let's say in the manufacturing sector, is a fantasy.
I think that's based off of some of the moves and the actions that are being made right now. I think that's a very good possibility. But it's a long-term play. I think at the end of the day, you're not going to have enough time to do it. I see the big picture. I understand how it can happen. I just don't see how there's going to be enough time to make that work.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I think it's impossible. Imagine with the inflation and everything
Right.
costing higher. Imagine trying to pay someone even $10, $15 an hour in the US.
You can't.
That's a fantasy, like
Right.
even up there in my native Canada, I think like minimum salary for students like 20 or something like that. And
Right.
yeah, it's that is so hard to make, and I think only robots could actually bring back manufacturing to the US, which by definition would slash jobs.
Well, right, exactly. And then also, like, you talk about $20 an hour. It's not $20 an hour. I mean, not full time, right? You got taxes, you got benefits, you've got all these things that people aren't even thinking about when they say that anyway. $20 an hour is maybe like 30, 35, right? It's
Correct.
expensive.
It is very expensive for an employer. And then you have all kinds of risk. You need to factor in HR. There
Right.
is a risk of losing an employee. There's many studies that prove that if someone goes away, you're paying like 5 to even 27x the cost of hiring someone. Let's say that they sue you, for example, they go into unions, right? So it's very complicated to be a business owner. I do think Trump understands that though, as a business owner himself,
Yeah,
right?
he's not dumb.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. So, Michael, where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, sure. So you can go on our website at either getwelldesk.com or securevirtualsolutions.com. I love being on social media, Instagram, Secure Virtual Solutions, Facebook, LinkedIn, or you can email me directly. I do answer my own emails. So that's M as in Michael, Villari, spelt the same way you see on the screen here, at securevirtualsolutions.com.